Trees give us almost everything we need, especially to create good compost. Each tree has a root system that reaches as deep into the ground as it is tall. Each year when spring arrives, the roots of a tree will grow deeper into the ground and collect nutrients. The nutrients are carried from the roots to the leaves of the tree, which use the nutrients to support photosynthesis for the tree. In the fall, the leaves from the tree die and spread across the ground, still full of plant-sustaining nutrients. The leaves then decompose and return to the ground to restart the process and support other plant life. Composting is meant to imitate this natural process.
Composting is the recycling of nature's waste. It is the controlled process of the natural decomposition of organic matter. Food scraps and yard waste, instead of being thrown into a landfill, can be returned immediately to the soil through composting. It's hard to imagine your food waste becoming a flourishing community of fungi and microbes, but under the right conditions, these scraps can be transformed into food for the soil. An established compost pile hosts an intricate food web of bacteria, fungi, mold, snails, and worms. These components break down organic matter and convert the nutrients into a form that plants can use, such as carbon and nitrogen. Gardeners refer to this human-like material as black gold. Composting both reduces waste in landfills and restores nutrients into the soil.
Compost improves the structure, texture, aeration, and overall general quality of the soil. This helps save money on watering, since compost has the ability to increase the amount of moisture retention in the soils and to reduce the risk of erosion. For plants, compost provides nutrients and other elements essential to growth, allowing for nutrient releases all season long. Compost helps you save chemical fertilizers and money. By reducing the amount of organic waste sent to the landfill and turning it into a valuable resource, not only do you add healthy, rich organisms to your soil, but you also reduce greenhouse gas emissions released into the atmosphere.
So, Stacey, can you tell me why you compost?
Why do I compost? Well, I actually never composted growing up, and I was introduced to it as a concept when I was starting at school, and I joined this cooperative where I learned about what it was and what it meant. And basically, yeah, you can put your food scraps in a landmass, right? But those are just gonna decompose and rot on top of existing piles of garbage, which are just gonna make different gases that contribute to climate change. Whereas with composting, those natural fibers and foodstuffs will decompose into the soil and will create a more nutritious soil, which will be a good sort of open habitat for different plants to grow on, which is cool because bad soil is bad for plants to grow on. And also you can grow flowers on it. It's cool because compost piles and trash piles and dump heaps are actually where agriculture originated. So if anything, it's composting is the oldest human tradition we got. That and fucking.
For those who want to compost food scraps, or both, should use a tumbler or a pan with a lid. When choosing a place to build your compost, pick an area that is shady, flat, and well drained. Keep in mind to have an easy water source around to reach your compost. A rain barrel would be ideal. To construct your compost, it is best to do so in layers. First, start with a layer of wood chips or twigs to help aid in aeration. Alternate layering of other materials 2 to 6 inches. These layers should include high carbon brown materials and high nitrogen green materials. High carbon materials are those such as paper, leaves, sawdust, livestock bedding, and straw. High nitrogen materials are made up of fruit and vegetable scraps, grass clippings, and coffee grounds. The total mixture of your compost should be 75% brown materials and 25% green materials. Try to keep this ratio as best as possible for better compost quality. The more you maintain your compost, the faster it will turn into black gold. Chop or shred materials before adding them to the bin. Small particles break down faster than larger ones. Continuously add fruit and vegetable waste when generated to help mix fresh material in. It is also important to mix the contents of the pile with either a pitchfork or compost turning tool regularly. Most importantly, always keep your compost pile damp. Depending on the amount of time, effort, and composting system, usable compost could be ready in 2 to 3 months. This could be done simply by turning the compost pile once a week.
Compost material can be used in many areas around your home. Apply to your lawn, garden, and houseplants. Use your compost as a yard fertilizer by spreading a 1/4 inch in the fall and using a spreader or a rake. Take the time to figure out how compost can help improve your life.